Hello everybody, Glowstone here, and I made this very late. I finished the Chamber of Secrets like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't make a video of it because, I don't know, I forgot for like a long time, and then I was like, man, I haven't made a video for this yet? I gotta make it. So I'm making it today before I forget. And yeah, this is not going to be too long. I think what I have to say is pretty simple. I think it's much better than the first book. I feel like it feels like a repeat. The first maybe 100 pages are, you just feel like this first book but different. Like, oh, it's new stuff. He has to go by, I don't want to spoil it, but he's like, there's the Ron thing. I also don't like how, like, it just feels so, the same stuff where, oh, he has to get to Hogwarts. Okay, how's he gonna do that? Okay, he's gonna do this. Okay, there's something going wrong at Hogwarts. Oh, at the end you see a little bit of Voldemort. Okay, that's it. But I feel like this is done much better than the first book. I actually forgot what I rated this. Okay, I think I know what it is, but yeah, I think it's much better. It's done better, especially later in the book. Oh my gosh. It gets really intense, and I really enjoyed the stuff that's later in the book because of how much I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much, but really I was like, man, I'm enjoying this much more than the first book, which I don't know. I heard a lot of people say the first book was better than the second book. I heard a lot of people saying the second book was pretty bad, but I'm a really big fan of the second book, and the second half is so much better than the first half. You get to like all this stuff where you get to like chapter 16 and so much stuff is just being shown at you. It's just like, oh my gosh, you got something's wrong with this character. You get, oh, the mystery of the whole thing is coming to an end. Oh, the characters, oh, I almost fell over. Like so much stuff in like half the book that could have been spread out more to both of it, but it's still really enjoyable. It made the last half of the book really enjoyable. I haven't started that third book yet because I'm reading The Song of Achilles, but I will start that later. And yeah. So I thought that this one was much more fun than the first book, and it's just much better. I do feel like it slows down sometimes. The Aragog chapter wasn't that good. What other chapters? I'm just looking through the pages, and I'm like, man, these are good chapters. The Rogue Bludger was a good chapter. The Dueling Club, the Polyjuice Potion, the Writing on the Wall, and then we get to like the first half of the book, which is not that good. I also feel like it does a great job with developing the characters and adding new characters. Gilderoy Lockhart is really good in this book, and I think in the movie, the actor does him really well, but we're not talking about the movie right now. We'll talk about the movie at the end. But Gilderoy Lockhart does such a good job playing, or the actor does such a good job of playing Gilderoy Lockhart, and in the book, I really liked Gilderoy Lockhart. I think his character was really cool. And yeah, the development for the characters were good. You got more, Harry, the main character, actually got some more development. He was kind of boring in the first book. Now he got a little more development. Still not a lot, but a little more. Just like, you know who he is now, and you know what he does. And you know, like, a little bit more about him. And Ron got really good character development. Snape got really good character development. Snape, especially during the Dueling Club. Oh boy, that was so good, especially in the movie. That scene was amazing. And yeah. There's also the mystery of the Chamber of Secrets, which I think is done really well. I really enjoyed all the stuff with the Chamber of Secrets and what happened. The ending is okay. I thought the final plot twists are they're fine. I mean, they fit the story, but I feel like the heir to Slytherin could have been someone more clever, someone we weren't expecting, and it's just like, when it comes, it's just like, oh, okay, it's that person. I feel like it fits the story, but it doesn't do anything to surprise me. It doesn't, like, shock me at all. I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's that person. No, I'm just like, yeah, cool. And the final ending is very last chapter, the Dobby's reward. It just brought it. It just didn't. It wasn't that good. Dobby's reward, and because I don't like Dobby. Dobby is probably my least favorite character in the book and the movie. I hate Dobby, and then they have this something where Dobby is rewarded. I'm not going to say what the reward is, but Dobby is rewarded for all his bad actions that he does throughout the movie, and it doesn't make sense. And yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But everything else, the mystery is much better than the first book. The battles and the character developments and the storytelling is just much better than the first one. But it feels very similar to the first one, so I can't give it too high because it feels very similar to the first one. It's like, okay, the first one is more like original. It's more classic, and it just feels that way. Well, this one feels like a sequel, but it feels like a sequel that does everything the first one did, but better. Just because it's a sequel, I'm not going to take it down 2 points. So this does feel more like a sequel than a second part. It feels like the first one had a lot of things were paid off at the end of the first one, and this one is kind of the same, where you got a lot of setup in the first half, and then the second half you get all the payoff to that. And there's nothing really open for the third book, nothing that really wants to make me keep reading, which is why I took a break. Nothing that really makes me want to keep reading. And yeah, that could be a thing, like something that's bad, but I think it's fine. It fits, and even though I wish that stuff that was set up in the first book would be developed in this book and developed and paid off at the end of the series, maybe like in the 6th, 7th, maybe even the 5th one. But it's not, and it just feels like it's set up and then it's paid off. And yeah. Also, so now let's talk about the movie. The book I will give an 83%. I think I said it's 82 or 83, but the first one was 81, so I think this one's 83 because I remember it going up. But if you check in the description, you can see, because then I'll check and I'll double check. But yeah, now let's talk about the movie. And I don't know. The movie's long. The movie is 3 hours, and it didn't feel like 3 hours at all. It felt like an hour and a half. I don't know. It was so enjoyable. I was just watching it, and I didn't even know that 40 minutes have passed, and I was like, dang, we're already 40 minutes into the movie? Nothing has happened. But it's not like a bad thing that nothing has happened. It's like, everything is so enjoyable, so it feels like time has, like, passed with just, them just talking, and it's interesting how the movie it doesn't feel like 3 hours. It feels like an hour and a half. And it even left out so much stuff. That's probably one of my main complaints, is that it didn't really do a good job of... Okay, it knew that it couldn't fit everything in the novel. This one's about 40 pages, bigger than the first one, and the first one was already 2.5 hours long. And it knew that it couldn't fit everything in this book into a movie. And I don't feel like it's really done that well. I feel like it could have been done a little better. I feel like that it just cut too much important stuff out instead of cutting all like just the random dialogue between characters that don't really have too much story. It cut out a lot of the stuff with Ginny, which I felt like all this stuff is pretty important. I mean, I know what happens. I have read the series before. I'm rereading it. I still don't remember everything. I barely remember any of the stuff from a couple of them, but I remember how stuff turns out in the end. And I feel like they could have set up all the Ginny stuff better in the movie, because in the book, there's so much stuff with the Ginny character. In the movie, I was watching with my brother, he didn't even know who Ginny was until she was stolen. Like, it's weird how, like, she's such a big character in the movie, and like, she's barely in the book. She's such a big character. In the movie, she's barely in it. And yeah, it just doesn't really feel like some of the characters, like Gilderoy Lockhart got way too much screen time. But even the screen time that he had, every time he was on screen, it just felt weird. Like, they didn't really use his funniest jokes or like the funniest moments. When all the teachers tell him to go battle, I almost spoiled. Shoot, okay. I almost spoiled it. Oh, good thing I caught myself. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything else that I didn't know. And yeah, Gilderoy Lockhart, at the end, the teachers ask him to do something, and he's like, and there's a different sort of shift in his character. I feel like that wasn't really done well in the movie, and in the book, it's done very nicely. And I just feel like all the stuff with just the character interactions were just better in the book. In the movie, I still think the movie's good. I think I forgot what I rated the movie. Oh no, it was like a 79. It was in the 70s, I'm pretty sure. I think it's like a 79 or 78, but I don't know. Okay. But anyways, yeah, so I really like the book. I like the book better than the first one. I like the movie better than the first one, but I still feel like the movie had a bit too many problems. So I didn't put it in. So I don't think it's like amazing, but I still really liked the movie, and I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the book, and I'm really excited to read the third one because I know how much people like the third one, and I'm going to be starting that once finished Song of Achilles. I'm 3/4 in. No, I'm 1/3 in. I'm not 3/4. I'm 1/3 into 1/3. What is happening? I'm 2/3 into the Song of Achilles, and I hope to finish that by the end of the week. I mean, it feels such a short time. Maybe by Thursday. Maybe by the end of the week, and then I'll be starting Harry Potter book 3, and I'm really excited for that. It was there's a lot of foreshadowing in the Chamber of Secrets, like even the movie of Azkaban, and Hagrid. I almost spoiled it again, but yeah, there's a bunch of foreshadowing in the second book of Azkaban, and I'm really excited where it goes for the next movie. So, anyways, thanks so much for watching. Bye.